Hello and welcome to Darkness Descending presents the North American Amateur Starcraft League, Season number 1, Week number 6, Game number 3 between Devilsadvice, the Zerg player in the bottom purple, and Kotaoncue, who is the Protoss player in the yellow at the top. So both previous games were fun to watch, that's for sure. We saw a lot. We've seen a lot of Blink Stalkers come out of Kota, so we're gonna see if he continues with that plan or goes at some different route. And Devil's gone primarily with Hydralisk and Roach play, which worked out for him relatively well in the first game, or very well in the first game, I should say. But during the second game, not quite as much because of Kota was able to get out Colossus. In any case, they're playing on map Metropolis. They look like they're in the farthest possible point from each other, so most likely we won't be seeing too much rushing going on. Both players look like they're doing relatively standard techs. Looks like Devil is once again going for the early fast expand without too much defense. Del has found his opponent, and Kota has found his. Devilsadvice gets his spawning pool up at the 16 mark, gets a nice extractor, so we look like we're going for actual relative tech game. This is a bit of a waste there. You should never, like, if Zerg is trying to do something like harass, for instance, but is only on the edge, taking 2 off is okay to just stop that. You only want to grab the full group or a large portion group if they run through the middle, because then you can surround and kill it really fast and then get back to the minerals. There's not much lost. But if you're chasing them around with more than 3, you're wasting minerals, essentially, which is what Devil's probably trying to do. Looks like he blocked off that assimilator, trying to stop that early tech. We do have a bit of a supply block here, which is too bad, but Devilsadvice mowing along as he usually does, got his hatchery, already has his gas going. Both of them, neither of them have gotten a new production unit or a new supply unit, but there's his Devilsadvice's Overlord, and I assume we finally got, we got a pylon up over here. So Kota actually does a pretty good job, I must say, of dropping pylons in random places in his basin, which is really important, especially against Zerg, which have that Nidus tunnel. You want to be able to see, and in particular hear, that Nidus tunnel building. We almost have that queen out. Devilsadvice doing a very standard Zerg item of trying to block off that ramp, because Protoss currently can use just 2 pylons to block it completely. In the next expansion or next patch, however, that's supposed to be nerfed. So you won't see that quite as much from Protoss players, because it'll take a lot more money to do. So we have just a basic spine crawler up. Devil's just pushing out that economy, much like he has in previous games. Kota is just hammering away at that gas. Looks like he's getting some extra gateways, almost has his warp tech up. There's another pylon. Oh, didn't see that before. So Kota is going for a Stargate type tech. Let's see here, Devilsadvice. What does he see? So Devilsadvice is not aware of this. Again, this is another situation where both players are opting not to scout hardly at all. Scouting is so important, especially early game, when you can get a feel for what they're trying to go for. It's actually even worthwhile to take that Overlord that you have out here and just send it right into the middle of the base and see if you can't glean some information about what they're looking to do. Even if you lose the Overlord, you still, you know, minerals are cheap for Zerg, so it's not worth, or it's entirely worth losing that Overlord to get a glimpse of what's coming at you. Gets back to everyone. So we're seeing a relatively ground-heavy game here. When we have a couple, and we have a Void Ray out, I should say. Now this is actually a really good move. Devil's Advice knows that Kota has been tending to go with the Blink Stalkers, or it's a really good move if Kota had gone Blink Stalkers, because a massive number of swarm of speed upgraded Zerglings do a great job at beating up Stalkers, even Blink Stalkers. If you have, but you obviously, the more Blink Stalkers you have, the significantly more Zerglings you have to have. Devil's Advice opting to put down an evolution chamber. Looks like he's teching up, so we'll probably see some Hydralisks that he's been pretty fond of in the past. Kota just cleaning up some scouts. He does have his Void Ray there. Does have another Void Ray on the way. And here we go. This is not looking like a very